So purification is not able to alter the acidity of the transformer oil, the used transformer oil. But with regeneration, it's actually able to remove all those contaminants such that even the acidity of the oil actually goes back to the acidity of new or close to new transformer oil. So we're saying regeneration makes the oil as good as new. My name is Helen Kauma. I work for Star Delta Electrics here in Bulawayo. I'm the head of division for a division called Transformer Maintenance and Oil Regeneration. So our division deals with the maintenance of transformers. So a major component of transformers is the oil inside the transformers. So we do both the maintenance of the transformers and oil regeneration.
But as much as we do regeneration of oil, we don't regenerate all oils. We mainly focus on the mineral-based oils.
So you have turbine oil. So turbines, like wherever there are turbines, there is turbine oil in there. So that turbine oil is a mineral oil. You see, hydraulic oil is also a mineral oil, right? Transmission oil is also a mineral oil. So all mineral-based oils we regenerate them.
We've got a purification machine and we've got a regeneration machine. So there's quite a significant difference between the processes. So when we're looking at purification, firstly, what we need to also acknowledge is the different types of contamination that occur.
We test the oil, we test the level of contaminations, we test the properties in the oil and see how it is or how it's like in the oil, so that we can then determine what then to do. Do we need to do purification? Do we need to do regeneration? Because the two are usually used interchangeably. Most people confuse that, but then there's a magnitude of difference, a huge difference between the two.
Okay, can you explain?
All right, so for purification, mainly it dehydrates the moisture or the water in the oil, and it also removes the gases, the dissolved gases in the oil. But then with regeneration, it takes it a step further by restoring the properties in the oil. It does all that, the removal of gases, dissolved gases, it does the dehydration, and it restores the properties of the oil, right? That's when we talk about our dielectric strength. It's also called the breakdown voltage that I was mentioning prior, and the acidity and the hydrogen and all other properties that are in the oil of a transformer, they are also improved.
Our technology uses a special clay which is called a sorbent, right? And this one, our supplier Globeco is the one that supplies us. It's actually a special type of soil that's mined in Brazil. When the oil passes through our sorbent, the contaminants that would be inside the oil actually attach themselves onto the soil properties, and then allowing the oil to actually come out or come through that process regenerated. After a period of time, we are then able to reactivate that very same sorbent. So when we're reactivating, we increase the temperatures of our machine up to about 600 degrees, and we're burning out all those contaminants. So we can actually keep using the sorbent over and over and over again. So there's no waste in our system. Then after maybe we've used the sorbent and up to, maximum, about maybe over 500 times, that's when that sorbent can still be used in construction. So for example, with regeneration, you can achieve this. As you can see that there's a significant color change. But with purification, you can't achieve this. So this is actually the color that you can even get of new oil. Yes, so you can actually take it to a lab and actually see for yourself the properties in this regenerated oil and compare the properties with new oil. You will find that it's actually very close and similar.
So ideally, the norm was when transformer oil is contaminated, people used to replace it with new transformer oil and dispose of that intoxicated transformer oil. And this in turn affecting the environment, affecting the rivers, affecting how the people live around the community or wherever the mine or the industry is located. The quantities of oil, usually for those that actually use oil, they have huge quantities. A manufacturing industry that manufacture anything, they can hold probably like 4 or 5 transformers, each transformer having at least 500 to 600 liters. And at most, for a small manufacturing or just an average manufacturing company, it might have a maximum of 1,000 to 1.5 liters of oil in their transformers.
You can actually connect it directly onto the transformer. So instead of draining, you can actually connect it direct. Now the advantage this has is that it has a dislodging property, because we're saying that over a period of time, sludge builds up inside the windings of the transformer. So this machine is able to remove the sludge that would have built in. But when you're just purifying, you just drain out the oil, but there's a certain amount of oil that remains in the transformer. Also the capacity of our machine can go up to 6,000 liters per hour.
When you drain the oil, like maybe we say there is 20 liters of oil in a transformer, right? You want to drain that 20 liters. You can't drain the 20 liters. You can drain 5 liters, for instance, and then 15 liters remains trapped in there. So when you say you have drained the transformer oil and then now you want to put new oil, that brand new oil that you are putting in there, it immediately gets contaminated.
If they continue using that oil, it might lead, because an oil acts as an insulation in the transformer, right? You know, a transformer is all about electricity. So it acts as an insulation. So when that breakdown voltage that I was mentioning reduces, it comes to a point where it can't then sustain or insulate as it's supposed to be. It starts acting as a conductor of electricity, and then that leads to the transformer blowing up.
The transformers in our country, the generality of our transformers, they are not being maintained. They are not being maintained. That's why you see a lot of times we have power outages, right? You have power outages. Sometimes the power outage is not as a result of load shedding, but is as a result of faults on transformers that are not being maintained. You understand? So that's the other thing again, to say, you know, we don't have power in our country. We have a shortage of electricity, but the little electricity that we are getting, we are supposed to preserve it. How do we get people to have power you know, more often than not? We need to maintain our transformers. Okay, so we are bringing this technology to maintain our transformers so that we don't have power outages. So that was another inspiration again. What is it that is making people not have electricity? Is it because we don't have power at Kariba or Wange? Sometimes it's because our transformers are faulty. They are not being maintained. So we are bringing in this technology now to ease the pressure on our utilities. Because sometimes, you know, they need transformer oil, for instance. They need transformer oil, but they may not have the budget to buy transformer oil because it's expensive. So you see, it's not only good for the environment, but it's also good for the pocket.